Good morning, dear children. Wish you all the very best for the new academic year 21-22. Let us begin with our literature textbook.
First of all, let me introduce you our textbook that is the English Channel. In this book, you can see that each unit is divided into three sections or three lessons. Today, we are going to learn the first section that is Fire Story. It's a poem by Robert Louis Stevenson. Hope you all will enjoy.
Here you can see the image of the first unit of the textbook, the English Channel, the unit titled Adventure. You can see the images of three eminent personalities. Do you recognize any one of them? Try to find out their names. You may search on the internet too. Before we begin the poem, let me introduce Robert Louis Stevenson to you. Robert Louis Stevenson was born on 13th November 1850 in Edinburgh, Scotland. He was a poet, musician, and a travel writer. He is known by his most famous books like Treasure Island, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and A Child's Garden of Verses. Pirate Story is a simple and beautiful poem by Robert Louis Stevenson. Let us move on to the poem.
Pirate Story. Before we begin the poem, let me ask you a simple question. What games do you like to play with your cousins? Do you play games where you act like someone else? Yes. Pirate Story is a poem set in a meadow where three kids pretend to be pirates and sailing the sea. This poem is an adventure poem because the three kids pretending to go on an adventure as pirates and planning to go to many places when they escape squadrons in the sea. Here, the three kids were arguing among each other about the adventure which was supposed to take place in Africa. A squadron was spotted by them, and then the pirates decided to try and as well as run away. Now, I request all of you to read the poem silently. Yes, now I will read the poem for you. Listen. Three of us afloat in the meadow by the swing. Three of us abroad in the baskets on the lea. Winds are in the air, they are blowing in the spring, and waves are on the meadow like the waves they are at sea. Where shall we adventure today that we are afloat, weary of the weather and steering by a star? Shall it be to Africa, or steering of the boat, to Providence or Babylon, or off to Malabar? Here comes the last stanza of the poem. Listen. Hi, but your race is squadron are rowing on the sea. Cattle on the meadow are charging with a roar. Quick, and we will escape them. They are as mad as they can be. The wicket is the harbor, and the garden is a shore. Now we can study each stanza in detail. Stanza 1. Three of us are flat in the meadow by the swing. Three of us abroad in the baskets on the lea. Winds are in the earth, they are blowing in the spring. And waves are on the meadow like the waves there are at sea. In this first answer, we find three kids in a meadow who pretend to be sailing in a sea. They imagine themselves to be pirates. Though waves are glowing, it is spring season, right? The waves are on the meadow as if they are at sea. Now, let us discuss about some new words. I think you all are familiar with these words too, right? Okay. First one, afloat. What do you mean by the word afloat? Yes, well, floating on water, right? Second one, lee. What is a lee? An open area of grassland, right? I think the third word you all are familiar with, right? Yes, meadow. What is meadow? Yes, it's grassland. Yes, right. Stanza 2. Where shall we adventure today that we are afloat, weary of the weather and steering by a star? Shall it be to Africa, a steering of the boat, to Providence or Babylon, or off to Malabar? Now the kids are arguing where they should go for an adventure at sea. They are cautious of the weather and steering by star. They wonder if their first adventure should take place in Africa, Providence, Babylon, or even in Malabar. So there is an argument or a fight among the children. Let's see the words. First one, wary. What do you mean by the word wary? Be careful or cautious of danger. Second one, steering. I think you are familiar with the term steering, right? Yes, what it is? It's an equipment used to control direction, right? Yes, now we are moving on to the last answer, that is stanza 3. Hi, but here is a squadron are rowing on the sea. Cattle on the meadow are charging with a roar. Quick, and we'll escape them. They are as mad as they can be. The wicket is the harbour, and the garden is the shore. Yes, in the last answer of this poem, let's see. Before the three kids decide where to travel, they see Captain on the meadow making noise. They imagine there is a squadron on the sea. They, as pirates, decide to try and escape from there. In the end, they imagine wicket to be the harbour and garden as a shore. Yes, the poem is full of adventure and excitement, right? Now let's discuss. There's a new word in this stanza, squadron. I think you are familiar with the word, right? What do you mean by the word squadron? Yes, it's a group of aircraft or ships. Now we are going to discuss about the figures of speech used in the poem. Have you heard about figures of speech? Yes, I think you will be familiar with the terms poetic devices or literary devices, right? Figures of speech means same as literary devices or poetic devices that we use in poetry to make the poem more beautiful and attractive, or to give a musical effect to the poem. And we use many figures of speech in poetry such as simile, metaphor, alliteration, assonance, personification, imagery, etc. Now we are going to discuss in detail about the literary devices used in this poem Pirate Story. Let's see simile and metaphor. While both similes and metaphors are used to make comparisons, The difference between similes and metaphors comes down to a word. Similes use the words like or as to compare things. For example, life is like a box of chocolates. In contrast, metaphors directly state a comparison. For example, love is a battlefield. Let's see here in this poem, Pirate Story. The poem Pirate Story is a complete metaphor of kids playing in the meadow and pretending to be pirates in a sea. Let's see the example given in the poem. The wicket is a harbor and the garden is a shore. And let's move on to the second literary device used here, that is simile. See the example, and waves are on the meadow like the waves there are at sea. The waves on the meadow are compared to that of the sea, and hence simile is a poetic device. And let's move on to the last literary device used in this poem, that is alliteration. Have you heard about alliteration? Yes. It is a repetition of consonant sounds at the beginning of the words appearing close to each other. For example, wary of the weather and steering by a star. Here you can see W and S both are consonant letters and they give the sounds V sound and S sounds. Here, wary of the weather, their V sound is repeating, that is underlined, and steering by star, again S sound is repeating. So here comes the literary device alliteration. I hope the figures of speech is clear to you all. Hi dear children, I hope now the poem, the theme and the figures of speech used in the poem are very clear to you all. So please read and understand the poem. We will provide you the notes in the next class. Thank you dear children.